simple life. It doesn't have much. It doesn't worry him where you're going. Yeah, 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 nowhere.
Okay, so this is a, I believe, a 1942, somewhere around there, Hammond Postal Telegraph, Synchronous electric wall clock. It's not in the best condition. There is some paint loss up here. The chrome around the ring is kind of tarnished, but honestly, unless you're up close, you don't really notice those things. The second hand is missing some paint. What I plan on doing with this thing is eventually repainting this, getting some nice black shiny spray paint going over that. Probably doing the same with this piece, sanding it, redoing that. The dial is fine. It's not perfect. There's a couple little like stains here and there, but that's really it. Second hand, get some nice red paint and just go over that. The hour and minute hand are fine. It's got a little cutout at the 6, and I believe, I don't know why that's like that. I've seen a couple that have this and a couple that don't. Most of them don't. I feel like this is because I think some of them had like a neon tube, or they had an option to have like a light around them. That might be where the connector would have gone. You can tell this is the later version because, like my Grenadier Hammond clock, it says Hammond Instrument Company and not Hammond Clock Co. like a couple of my other Hammond clocks. Took the movement apart, cleaned it up, oiled it, runs silently and accurately. Put a new cord on it, the vintage style plug, which I really don't feel like digging back there to unplug just to show you. I'm not going to take it off the wall in this video because, well, it's not very heavy, but it's kind of awkward to move, and I don't want to smash the TV. The glass has been replaced at some point with plexiglass. This is plastic. It's kind of cut jaggedly under here, but you don't notice it unless you take it all apart, so I'm really okay with that. Yeah, there's really not much to show. I don't really, without taking off the wall, but I mean the movement on these things is the same movement that's in the Grenadier clock. I put some heat shrink tubing on the original wire going into the motor coil, since it was starting to get kind of thin. The insulation was getting kind of thin where it goes into the case, and I didn't want it to short out, so I just put some heat shrink over both sides and wired it up and made a little strain relief. I replaced the rubber grommet in the bottom here because the original one was just this hard it was rubber at some point, I'm sure, but I put a new rubber grommet there where the cord goes through the bottom. Fit pretty much perfectly, and it looks really nice in my living room. It's proudly displayed above my TV. That nice crescent moon second hand, I love that. It's definitely a really nice clock. It's held up with a screw up there. There's really not much more to say about it, other than the fact that I spent entirely too much money on this thing. But considering the condition it's in, which is not bad, and the fact that, you know, a minor, I don't even have to repaint it. I mean, I kind of feel like I don't want to repaint it because it is original, but at the same time, I'm just thinking about how nice it would look if I repainted the whole thing and clean, because the finish on the paint is kind of gone too. It's not very shiny anymore. This would have been shiny at one point. It's kind of rough, and it doesn't shine up that well. I'm just thinking how nice this clock. I've been in a couple houses. A couple of my clients I used to deal with a few years ago, one of them had one of these clocks that was all redone. It looked beautiful. It was in the dining room. I used to walk dogs, and there was this lady, about not even 10 minutes from here, in this big old house. I'm not going to say the town. Had these two black labs. They were the sweetest dogs ever. They were just so good. The house was very old. Everything in it was old. It was a very nice house, and they had one of these clocks, and I saw it. That was the first time I saw one of them in person. I'm like, holy shit, that clock is nice looking. Yeah, these are not very common, but You know, people say they're rare. I don't know if they're that rare, because I do see a good number of them still around, but I know a good number of them exist, but I don't see a lot of them around in person. But you go online anytime you want, you can find one for sale. It just might be very expensive. You see I have it proudly displayed above the wall, or above the TV on the wall. Just ignore that little hole there, I gotta fill that. A couple pictures there. And once I get this room painted, it'll look even better. It's probably, you know, right over the TV. You can see it through the whole living room. In the kitchen you can see it, everything. And it looks really nice where it is. I'm very happy with this clock. Thank you for watching.
Happy the man. He leads a simple life. It doesn't have much. It doesn't worry him where you're going. Yeah, yeah.